Hi, Brad Bob here, back to talk about law enforcement officers, air traffic controllers, special category employees. So, those of you that can retire early, collect your supplement early, and retire, move on to a different career, or whatever it may be. The debate that I want to talk about today is not whether to just retire for good, but whether or not to retire and take a new position. Okay, should you take that contract job once you have your 20 years in at age 50 or your 25 years in at any time? So let's talk about it. Okay, I'm going to use some examples here. We're going to look at some numbers. We're just going to evaluate it. So I'm going to say salary. So really what you have to look at is a federal employee. Okay, what you have to look at there as far as finances is your salary. Okay, and we're going to say 150,000. Okay, then you've got your FERS annuity. Okay, and any increases in your FERS annuity, first thing, right? Okay, and your increase there is 1% a year, or $1,500, right? So that's $1,500 for the year, or $125 a month. Then you've got your FERS supplement, or the special retirement supplement, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to go up. That's really tough to calculate. But the way it's calculated, if you have 25 years in, you take your Social Security estimate at age 62, multiply that times 25, divide it by 40. So if you have another year, you multiply it by 26, divide it by 40. And then you're going to get that supplement up until you reach minimum retirement age. It will not be reduced before hitting MRA. And then once you hit MRA, then it will be reduced for earnings of up and over and above. It's something like $19,000 for this year. So that has to be considered as well. But I don't think the increase there would be very much. I mean, I'd say maybe $500 a year is my guess. Then the only other thing is your TSP and TSP contributions. And what you'd be losing there if you leave early is 5% contributions to your TSP. Okay? So 5% of 150,000, you're looking at $7,500. Okay? All right. Now, before I get into finances of the contract job, let's talk about cautions. Okay? So before you do this, you want to do the financial analysis. Okay? Make sure that it makes sense. And even if it's a little lower on this side, you may still want to do it, depending on if it's something you have a desire to do. So one, job satisfaction. How happy are you in your current job? How happy do you think you will be in the new job? And then two, and probably the biggest, is job security. So if you were to retire for good today, could you retire? Could you make it on your FERS annuity, your supplement, and your investment earnings? Or would you need to find a new job? And if that's the case, you want to make sure that you're somewhere in a location where you can find another job if this one falls through. I've seen contract positions lost. I've seen people retire, have a position for a year, and then that company they were working for did not secure the contract with the federal government the next year, and then they lost out on that job and they couldn't find another one. But they were not in an area where retired law enforcement officers were in great demand. Now, if you're in a bigger city, a bigger metro area, there's quite a bit of demand there. So consider that. Consider your job security, job satisfaction. Then we get into the finances of it. So if you go over here, and it's pretty common to have a salary similar, but I'm going to go a little bit lower. Let's go with 130,000. Okay. A lot of times, like I said, a lot of times people get a salary the same as what they had when they retire. Okay, but let's say it's let's just say it's 130,000. Now, you're still going to get your FERS annuity over here. So if you retire and your high three is 140,000, okay, so we're using 150 here. I'm just going to reduce it by 10,000 and say high three is 140. Okay, so if you had 25 years in, you would get 54,600 a year from your FERS annuity. All right, and then an estimate for your supplement. Let's say an estimate for the supplement would be about, we'll go on the low end and just say 15,000. Okay, so let's add those up. We're just gonna say 184. We'll drop off the 600. We've got 201, right? No, that's not right. It's 9. 8, 9. It's 199. Sorry. Okay. So here we're looking at 199,000 a year that you would make being retired versus working, and that is a lower salary. Okay. So total benefits over here, you're looking at 150. 500 a year, 1,500 a year, 7,500, and let's just round up and call it a total of 160K. Health benefits, nothing to factor in there because you can keep your federal health benefits. Okay. Now maybe over here you get benefits like an HSA contribution or something like that. What else? So you could have other fringe benefits with a new job. Now, I don't have anything over here as far as retirement plan contributions, because with TSP, over here you get $7,500. You get a match in your TSP, and you get, basically the government contributes 5%, $7,500. Most of the time over here, you're going to have a 401k, and you're going to get matching here too. And if you have matching on this 130,000, then you're looking at an additional 6,500. Okay, if it's just 5%, you're matching an additional 6,500, which increases that 199,000 even more. So, all things being equal here, or all else being equal, financially, it looks like it makes the most sense to take the contract position. Now, keep in mind, if you do this at the age of 50, the first supplement, okay, the first supplement over here, $15,000 a year, that is going to go away if you continue working, making a substantial wage once you get past minimum retirement age. Okay, again, not mandatory retirement age, but minimum retirement age, which is going to be based on the year that you were born. Okay, so the latest that would be age 57. So if you're retired at the age of 50, you can get that $15,000 regardless of how much you make in earnings up until the age of 57. So you have 7 years of getting that. Okay, I think that's about it. So bottom line is, most of the time when I talk to somebody in positions like this, the best financial answer is to take the new job. And generally when I'm talking to people about this, it's because, not necessarily because they're not happy in their current job or career, but yet they've been in it for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and it appeals to them to try something new. So in that scenario, again, financially, it looks to make sense. So consider the other two things: job satisfaction and job security. Job security is the big one. Now, let's say you're 52 years old and you can retire and live off of your FERS annuity, your supplement, and your investment earnings, your TSP, IRAs, wherever your investments are at, then, and you just want to work or you choose to work, okay, then you have job security because you can retire anytime you want, all right? But if you don't have that, you need to make sure you have some security, okay? So if you take that new job and that falls through 6 months later, a year later, can you find a new job making a similar wage? All right. So, I want to talk to you about this: law enforcement, air traffic controllers, all you special category employees. Okay. Here's just a little bit of what a financial analysis would look like, debating between the two. I hope this helps. Thanks.